Final. Was invaded by a mist of self-concern and a legitimate concern for her. On one hand, my juvenile couldn't help but imagine she could be up to something. On the other hand, I was seriously worried about her and fearing for what could have happened to that poor desperate lunatic. We tried filing a missing person report to the police, but we didn't have her face, hardly knew anyone who spoke to her, and still weren't capable of reaching her mother. It eventually ended up being futile when we had nothing but her name to prove she even existed. She was never heard of again. It's been close to an entire decade since that happened. Some years after I moved to the capital, Lisbon, but I still often go north to visit my family, and I still know that town like the palm of my hand. And I still have no idea where that damn house of terror is. I have something. Be me, last summer. Be wanting to complete Stalker Challenge. Abandoned cement barge beached on a sandbar on wooded coastline. Seems like the perfect place to camp. Brought a WASR, 2 magazines, all the magazines I had at the time, was perfect. Went to check out this barge, it was pretty sick, so I assumed that, at high tide, it was partially submerged. It had a cargo hold, and an upper deck. There were 2 portholes in the upper deck, with rusty ladders that descended down into the cargo hold. Decided to camp on the beach where the sandbar connects with dry land, because I didn't want to drown in my sleeping bag if high tide completely covered the vessel somehow. Explored the barge just a little more first. Noticed some rusted out metal stuff in a little square pool on the upper deck. Reached down into the water, pulled out a rifle casing. Recognized it as a nugget food casing. Wait till /K/ hears about this. Finally get finished closely examining all the cool old rusted bits of the barge. Valves, moorings, etc. Head over to the beach to make camp. Paste it off, it's 60 or so yards from the barge. Not quite Stalker Challenge legal, but safety first, right? What's 10 yards? Make a little fire pit with rocks for shiggles. Put driftwood in it. Whipped out the Zippo, lit her up. Looked at my watch, it was about 4. Pic related kind of shows the shoreline I was camped on. Pic related also shows the part of the upper deck where the barge was split in 2. Anyhow. Sitting on the beach, in front of weak ass fire. WASR laying by my side. Pull out a green plastic dollar store harmonica. No idea how to play it, just make noises with it. Start doing the Jaws theme with it, for shiggles. Laugh at my own cleverness. Try to do something like the national anthem. Hear laughter coming from the trees. Stop playing, look over. Hello. Laughter continues, same tone as before. It kind of sounds like me, come to think of it. Begin to smell something kind of metallic. Smell is kind of salty, too. I was camped by the sound, mind you, so it was already a little salty, but this smell was saltier than normal. It's still only 5, not quite sundown. I'm scanning the tree line, but I don't see nothing. Reach for my harmonica to resume playing. Realize the salty, metallic smell kind of resembles blood. In fact, it strongly resembles the smell of blood. Same laugh comes from the woods. Begin to put 2 and 2 together. Chamber around in the WASR. Hello. Sit there, staring at the woods for a long ass time. Nothing. Cook my beans on the fire, glancing over at the woods periodically. Just as the sun is going down, hear hello. Come at me from the woods. That sounds a lot like me. Nope the fuck out of there. JPEG. Packed my shit in a flash, ran to the barge. Pic related was taken 2 weeks prior, while hiking with a buddy. We spent all of 5 minutes there and continued on our way. Anyways. Darted to the barge. Leapt inside. Frantically climbed up onto upper deck. Jumped across the crack onto the bow. Went prone, aimed my WASR back out across the sandbar. Eyes golf ball wide. Sit like that a while. Check watch periodically. Just as the sun is finishing setting, realize I'm going to want some fire. Go down onto the sandbar, rifle slung and at the ready, gather up a little driftwood. Light a rather weak fire on the deck. Make one last trip just at the beginning of dusk, find some good wood, fire achieves respectable size. Spend the first few hours of the night rifle shouldered, prone, aiming down the sandbar. Remember that several of my relatives suffer various mental illnesses. You probably just hallucinated that sh*t, anon, you need to go get checked out, I tell myself. Then I hear the heavy breaking of brush from the coastline. And something muffled blows to me on the breeze. Laughter. And a pretty unpleasant smell. Oh shit. Hold my rifle tight, pointed threateningly at the coast. It's pretty well dark by now. Remember I brought a flashlight. Go over to my pack, laying on the deck by the stern, get it? Come back, shine it down along the sandbar. See something glint as I sweep. Swing beam back onto the gleaming thing. Two little dots. Eyes. Fucking eyes. Something big and dark is attached to them. It's pretty damn tall. It's just standing there, halfway down the sandbar. Can't see it well, low battery and it was kind of far away. Try to tell myself it's just an animal. That's one big ass animal. Is it a bear? Human eyes don't glow in the dark, so it can't be a person. Can't hurt to shoot at it, right? Chamber a round. A live round is ejected and skitters across the deck. I already chambered one on the beach. I'm a dumbass. Go prone, take aim, touch one off. If only I had had a flash hider instead of a slanted break. Blinded for what felt like an eternity. Blinking frantically in hopes of restoring my sight the whole time. Get to the point where I can see again. Frantically shine my mag light all up and down the sandbar, no eyes. Maybe I scared it off. Hear the crunching of gravelly sand below me. Somebody says hello, once again, it sounds a hell of a lot like me. In full panic mode. Stand on the railing, point WASR over the side, mag dump. Hear and see nothing for a good long while. Settle in. Got my legs in a sleeping bag, head and arms out with WASR aimed at the portholes that lead from the hold up onto the deck. A couple of hours pass, my eyelids get heavy. Hear that laugh again, this time, it's below me. Nearly wet myself in sheer terror. Begin focusing intently. Hear small waves lap, the tide has risen. After 10 minutes or so, begin to hear sloshing in the hold below. Something's walking around down there, and it's beginning to fill with water. There's only one direction this can go now. Up. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Hello. Scream, shut the fuck up. Shove my WASR down the porthole. Blind fire like a madman. There goes all of my ammo. Heart is hammering. Slowly back away from the porthole. Heart something clanging against metal. It's climbing the ladder. Unsheath my bayonet. I don't know how that thing fit through the porthole, but it did. Fight or flight engages, there's nowhere to run to. Charge, screaming. It happened in a flash. The bayonet plunged into the thing. A heavy paw, or something, bitch slapped me across the chest and I went tumbling off the barge, into the drink. I now have no WASR, and I'm in the water. Play dead, lay on my back, hope it doesn't see me. Heart is pounding uncontrollably, still. Not worried about hypothermia because it's June. Slowly drift away with the current. See a hulking silhouette next to the fire as I drift off. Current dumps me on a beach a few miles east. Hike home, never go near that place again. Alright gunfuckers, here's one that happened a few summers ago. Live out near Texarkana. Parents have farm with a few cows, horses, and too many chickens to count. Farm sits on the boundary between woods and plains, trees are sparse but thicken up like crazy toward back of property. Parents gone to Corpus Christi for vacation, so of course I have to take care of all the animals. Tack the heat wave passing through onto that, and it's basically constant care making sure they're watered. My favant.og. Closest friends are out of town for the week. Farm is about 20 miles outside city limits, so I can rule getting my dick wet out of the roster of activities. Split time up between feeding aminals and sighting in my new SIG 556 I got for graduation. Wake up one morning, one of our older horses had died. She had plenty of water, but the heat must have just been too much for her, poor girl. I phoned Dad, he tells me to go to neighbor Frank a few miles down the road, he has a backhoe. Go to Frank, tell him my situation. He follows me back home with the thing and fills me in on how to operate, not too different from a tractor, so I'm set. Tells me he'll be back the next morning for the backhoe. Set to work digging Empress grave, fill it in, offer a moment of silence, shed a manly tear. Suddenly inspiration wave. Turn the backhoe back on and chug a lug to the back of the property. 30 plus acres and not a single berm for shooting? Madness. Don't bother telling parents because they wouldn't give a fuck. Start digging a berm, leave the trench forest side. Suddenly smell this dank, shifty odor. Panic and think I hit a sewer line. 11 gonna jetty jiff. Hop down out of cab and search the trench for busted pipe, none to be found. Suddenly feel uneasy, feeling of being washed. Scan tree lean and surrounding field. Zip. Chalk it up to dead horse and residual guilt, but still tactically back to backhoe. Gladdle left it running. Text. Chug-a-lug back to farm, turn it off and head inside. Get up early next morning, make a big country breakfast and go out to feed some motherfucking critters. Go out to do the horse's routine, but with one less chunk of hay on the wheelbarrow. Sad face PNG. Suddenly wafted a most unpleasant vapor. That smelly smell from yesterday, mixed with rot. Head out on a hunch to where I buried Empress. Stagger and nearly puke. The grave's been robbed. Her head has been placed, emphasis on placed, upright near a largish hole in the ground. Tongue has been ripped out, eyelids gone, and eyes been popped, her cheeks and neck look chewed on. Maggots crawling around the wounds. Vitreous humor dry and crusty running down one cheek. Seen dead animals and scavenging before, this trumps all in my book. Plus, I love that horse, so this is disturbing on a number of levels. Hear squealing sound behind me, brick my shorts. It's neighbor Frank. He asks why I look so pale, tell him coyotes dug up the horse. Bullshit. I dug that grave at least 7 feet deep. He nods and leaves with backhoe. I play car shuffle again to get him back to his truck. Get home, carefully tip Empress head back down the grave with a shovel and rebury her. Go into garage, slop some coyote urine around grave to keep the fuckers away. It pays to have a family as into hunting as mine. Fast forward to that afternoon. Head out on four-wheeler with a few targets, my SIG, and my moist nugget. Trashy, yes. Cheap. Also yes, for a little side calibration. Go to set up targets, real